How you doing, guys, and welcome to my spoiler-free recap of the Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi Series Part 5. So, coming into this episode, by far, Episode 3 is the best, and the first four episodes still trying to combine the traces and all the components and even the story. Feel like the story is still inconclusive. Well, in this episode, finally, I thought they finally been put together in terms of move forward the storyline. Like I thought it was very straightforward, and the action in this movie was very good, and finally brought back some nostalgia memories into it. Like the flashbacks in this episode pulled like an emotional memory of the prequel trilogy. Probably this event happened during Attack of the Clones, the training between Obi-Wan and this individual is, of course, known from the prequel trilogies, like very famous character, of course. Like reveal the strength and weakness of Obi-Wan's ultimate nemesis. I thought that's a great history provided and background that presented very well, and why he hates Obi-Wan and why he wants Obi-Wan and his training. Like it was revealed in this episode. I thought it was very great. But the makeup in this particular individual was like, hey, they try to make him like younger because in an actual age, he's not that young anymore. They try to cover up like seems young, but like I thought it looks old. So even they try to mask with the makeup, I thought he looked old. But in terms of makeup on Obi-Wan, I thought the makeup on Obi-Wan was great. He reminded me of during the prequel trilogy. That was good. But in overall, these flashbacks, that was an absolute gift. If you're a fan of the prequel trilogy, the flashbacks were more summarized, neatly organized, and not a messy at all compared to the Book of Boba Fett, which all those flashbacks were good, but it was all like all over the place. So I thought the flashback in this episode was a well structured, combining what is occurring in the present, and finally we found out about Third Sister's background. Like she was playing the long game all this time, and why she had the obsession towards Obi-Wan. Well, it turned out to be it's not about Obi-Wan. It was like what happened during the infamous devastating event during Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. That's why she had a fractured heart deep inside. Like Obi-Wan was trying to reconnect with her. She refuses. And it was nice to see her background more than just like why she hates Obi-Wan. Well, it's all about that. She was playing the long game. And at the end, she still has a central role in this episode after she recovers this damaged material. I think she still has a last ditch motivation effort left, and what will be, I can't wait to see. And of course, Obi-Wan's has a wise characteristic. He's very smart, like he's carrying the load. I really love how Ewan McGregor is presenting the character, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, great factor into it. He provides everything in this episode, or like entire to the series. And the Young Highness's role, like she was less in this episode, but she had all the context going into this episode, so I didn't mind her role was less in this episode, but she played an important role helping the resistance get through the Empire, so she played an important role. And the action sequence in this episode that happened in the middle, I thought it was very like Empire Strikes Back or The Last Jedi Planet Crates sequence that reminded me of. Is very intense. It's back and forth. Camera work in that sequence is a bit of a low angle, so it's kind of hard to see and capture the framework of that action sequence, but it was emotional as well, heartfelt, because it reminded me of the very end of the scene, Rogue One. Like resistance and rebels about like sacrifice for the good things. That's what happened during this sequence. So, and really, it kind of broke my heart watching it. It's like, oh wow, that was the scene. It felt saddened how rebels and resistance about sacrifice for the good thing in order for the to win. So that was a big time emotional moment. And at the end, the Star Wars gold standard villain had it with third sister, and he was tired of her act. He knew what was her about, her background and everything. Seemed like he played along. He was playing this whole time, and he was tired of it. He was like toying with it, and he really showed his power, his strength, like his dark, forceful nature, and that was so great to see. And the expected outcome in this episode that twisted, like, hey, I know this guy from at the end of the episode too. He was like, oh, this guy's gonna come back. Well, he appeared as I expected. So that's what happened in this episode. So going into this final episode, I'm very looking forward to it. Like, part 5 finally moved the story forward. It provided all the context it needed while reflecting some of the wistful factors from the past. Overall, sturdy, emotional heft part 5 of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. It's entertaining, it's intense, thrilling, and proved and discover its footing heading into the climax of episode 6, and I can't wait for that. So that's my spoiler-free recap of Obi-Wan Kenobi series part 5. What's your thoughts? Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and see you in the next one.